It's the first of the month. Again. You open the budget. The clean one. The one that's going to work this time. You mean it. You always mean it. By the 19th, it's gone. Not on anything big. A lunch, a delivery, a thing you needed in the moment. You tell yourself it's discipline, that next month you'll try harder. You won't. Not because you're weak, but because you're saving for someone who doesn't feel real yet. And once you see who that is, you can't unsee it. Before you decide this is just an excuse, it isn't. This isn't a thing that happens to people who are bad with money. It happens to almost everyone, automatically, underneath the part of you that makes plans. Your brain is running a calculation. It has run since before money existed. And the answer it keeps giving you is the wrong one, for reasons that have nothing to do with your character. It has a name. Most people never learn it. Tonight, you will. So let's go back. All the way back. You are 23. First real paycheck. It clears. And for one night, you feel rich. Someone, a parent, an app, a voice on a podcast, tells you to start saving now. Even a little, especially now. And you agree, in theory. But later is a fog. Retirement is a rumor. The version of you that needs this money is so far away, decades away, that he might as well be fictional. So you do the math your brain actually runs. $50 tonight, dinner, a round, something real you can feel, versus $80 handed to a stranger almost 50 years from now. 50 wins. It isn't close. You don't know it yet, but that lopsided trade has a name. Hyperbolic discounting. The closer a reward is, the more your brain inflates it. The further away, the more it shrinks, fast and unfairly. Later is always worth almost nothing. Now is worth everything. That's not greed, that's the default setting. You are 34. And then there's Theo. Theo always has the new thing, the car, the trip you saw photos of, the watch he taps on the table while he talks. Theo looks like he's winning. And next to him, you feel behind, like he cracked something you missed. Here's what you can't see yet. Theo is making the exact same trade you are, every time. He just makes it louder. Theo never picks later either. Theo picks now so consistently that his whole life is a stack of nows, and not one of them is for the man he'll be at 70. You think Theo's ahead of you. He's just further down the same road, walking faster. You don't know it yet, but you're not jealous of Theo. You're watching your own wiring, wearing a nicer jacket. So here's the question that should bother you. If you know later matters, and you do, why does your brain keep refusing to act like it? A researcher named Hal Hershfield went looking for the answer, and what he found is stranger than laziness. He took photos of people, then he aged them, digitally, wrinkled the skin, grayed the hair, pushed the face forward to about 70 years old. Then he asked them a simple question. How much of your paycheck do you want to save? The people who just looked at their old face put away nearly twice as much as the people who saw their face today. Same question, same money, one photograph. Now, be honest about what this is. It was a lab. The money was hypothetical. And when other scientists tried to repeat it, the effect didn't always hold up cleanly. So we're not selling you a magic photo. But the reason it worked, even a little, is the part that matters. And it's the part nobody warns you about. When you picture your future self, the one you're supposed to be saving for, your brain doesn't file him under you. It files him under someone else, a stranger. And you would never hand a stranger your paycheck. You are 41, first of the month. The clean budget open again. And this time, sitting there with the cursor blinking over the transfer you're about to cancel, you finally see it. Every transfer you ever set up to savings, every one, felt somewhere under the surface like mailing cash to a person you've never met. A man with your name and a face you couldn't picture. No wonder it never stuck. You weren't failing to save. You were refusing to fund a stranger and calling it weakness. You're not bad with money. You never were. You just never met the person you were doing it for. And here's what lands hardest at 41, alone with the budget. That stranger Hirschfield aged to 70, he isn't 50 years away anymore. He's close now. Closer every first of the month. And you still haven't introduced yourself. Here's what doesn't happen next. You don't suddenly become disciplined. You don't fix it tonight. The wiring is still the wiring. Tomorrow, now, will still feel louder than later. But something did change. You can't go back to thinking it was about willpower. You've seen the real shape of it. A stranger, standing where your future self should be. And the strange part? That stranger is the most loyal person you'll ever have. He's the only one guaranteed to still be here. You just haven't been introduced. There is a way to make that introduction, a way to make him real enough that handing him money stops feeling like a loss. But that's not a budget, and it's not tonight. So maybe you're the one staring at the clean budget on the first of the month. Maybe you're Theo, stacking nows and calling it winning. Either way, you finally know who you've been saving for. A stranger with your face, already on his way to meet you. Next time, I'll show you how that introduction actually happens, the system that makes the stranger real, so saving runs without the willpower you've been blaming this whole time. For now, just sit with who's been on the other end of every transfer you never made.